each day from cocaine alone. In the 60s and 70s, you might have seen a film with Mel Gibson in it called America.
Yeah.
That was actually based on a true story. America did exist, and it was flying out of Cambodia. It was set up to take all the opium and sell it around the world. They were using American dead soldiers and placing the opium in the body bags with them and shipping them into the Air Force bases in America. Now, you'd think such a massive organisation of selling these drugs and distributing it, people would come forward. Well, people have come forward, and like any government, they ridicule them. They say you're mad. The ones that start to speak out, some of them go missing, some of them are found so-called suicides. For years, I kept my mouth shut for fear of what Escobar could do. That guy could reach anybody, anywhere in the world, and he was ruthless. I personally saw him have a man shot because he didn't say good morning to him. The man turned out to be dead, so he never heard him anyway. But that was the world like Escobar lived in. He was very cheap. A guy actually bet me the equivalent of about £10. He said, I'll give that kid over there £5. This is on the streets of Bogota. He said, I'll give him a Colt 45 and I'll just say, go blow that guy's head up there. Now the kid would have done it. Because £5 is a lot of money in Colombia at the time. Like I said, there's a lot of poverty there. Now, people like Escobar, how they got to be in a prominent position, he didn't keep all the money from the drugs proceeds himself. He helped the community. He was a big football fan. He actually gave a lot of the money to the local people. He had football fields built. He had houses built for the people. If any of the people had a problem, you go see Escobar, he helped them out. Free of charge. That gave him free rein then. He also had politicians in his pocket. He could literally do whatever he wanted. Then America started this campaign war on drugs under Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan stealing money from the drugs trade and telling the American people how bad it is. And then there was a big campaign then, crack addicts, you know, they're all crazy, they're going mad. You see how they produced the crack. You know, it was their chemists that produced it. Now, nobody in the world stands out against the American government. They're too powerful. I personally don't give a damn. I will speak out against them because they pride themselves on freedom. But what price is that freedom when they are controlling the population of drugs? And it's not just illegal drugs, it's pharmaceutical companies doing it as well. In the 60s and 70s, there were thousands and thousands of people addicted to drugs like Oregon in this country. And doctors were still giving it to them. Doctors are the biggest drug pushers. You ask any doctor, you know, you go in, they'll say, right, there's a prescription. Well, what exactly does that drug do to me? The doctor doesn't know. So you get on, open the packet, and every pharmaceutical produced drug has a side effect. Yeah, people go to doctor, oh yeah, great, I've got my tablets, I've got my medicine, take it, and they don't know what they're ingesting. Now, these same people are being told by the government that there's drug pushers out there. Drugs like cannabis is bad for you. It kills you. And these people are taking it in and thinking, whoa, they're like outcasts these people, they're going to throw them in prison. Last year, right across the board of illegal drug issues in this country, 114 people died. Now, compare that to like 4,000 people that died in 4 months. That's a hell of a thing. Just last week there was a programme on TV And 3,500 people died in road accidents from people being drunk or having a drink. Where's the outcry about them people then? There just isn't one. Yet you get one person, like Leah Betts, who dies allegedly from taking ecstasy, and there's an uproar. 20 years later, there still is an uproar, and we still use it now. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, it just seems like, hang on, we're being manipulated by our governments. We elect the governments, and they should do what we tell them. Now, in this country, there's an estimated 25 million people that smoke cannabis, and that's why Labour government reduced it from a Class B drug to a Class C drug. Now, quite a few commissioners of the police force want cannabis legalised, because they know it is not a threat to society like the government makes out. They know it does not kill people. In the history of drugs, nobody has ever died from taking cannabis. Now the government will say, we can't legalise it because it's a mind-altering drug. Then why the hell is St John's wort legal? Because if you're depressed, that uplifts you. Now that's mind-altering. Cannabis does a very similar thing. It makes you high, it makes you euphoric. It doesn't make you think you're invincible. It has like an opposite effect. You know, you just want to chill out. You don't want to be doing anything. You just like, rather listen to music or sit there on the beach, whatever, and just enjoy life. But they tell you it's bad for you. Yet, the same government is selling you alcohol and selling you tobacco, which does kill. So, to me, it's a bit messed up. There's also the morality of it all. It's like, I'll take for example, has anybody heard of TCP? Angel dust. It was made by the Hells Angels in California, hence the name Angel dust. The American government set about persecuting people who used it. They set about people making stories up to demonise that drug. So eventually, it, like the Hells Angels dropped it, it weren't worth the hassle they were getting, and he stopped producing it. Lo and behold, the American government produces it and sells it now. So, you know, wherever drugs are, there's money to be made. Wherever drugs are, you know the governments have a finger in the drug trade. Good example is like ecstasy. Anybody with any inkling of chemistry can produce ecstasy, and the governments will really hammer ecstasy producers or people who take ecstasy. It is a Class A drug. Yet some of the best ecstasy on the market is produced by the governments in laboratories, places like Portadown, which is highly secret. You'd say like it's a research centre. They never tell you exactly what's going on in these research centres. If it's so highly secret, what are they researching? You know, and out of it, it's like these underground bases where they're producing drugs. A lot of mystery comes out of it. Certainly like, you know, this is a paranormal UFO conference. Places like Area 51 are well known for the UFO alien connection. Places in this